and a very warm welcome. Hello, and a very warm welcome to one and all present here. I am Laksh Mittal, your host for the today, connecting live from India. And I am very excited to host today's masterclass brought to you only by Requiem. Our vision at Requiem is pretty simple. Okay, we want to onboard a million enthusiasts Web3 professionals to the Web3 revolution, and that is why we bring to you this one of a kind masterclass series. The world is heading towards a more connected and close knit ecosystem where various industries are working together to bring good amounts of progress and innovation. Let it be fintech, agri-tech, or health tech sectors. All different sectors are trying to, interconnect and bring in different kinds of innovation. And what's more exciting than that is Web3 is the forefront of all of these particular industries. Web3 is all about building communities through the power of decentralization, blockchain, and the secret sauce. That's you. And this is my time now to help you transition your life from Web 2 to Web 3. But before we get into that, okay, let me give you a sneak peek around, what Requiem actually does. To let you know, Web 3 is a new kind of internet, new kind of tech revolution that has come in, okay? And it is meant for those who wish to be a part of a transparent, efficient, as well as an autonomous ecosystem. Okay, this is where Requiem steps in. Okay, we help attendees from events discover Web3 professional jobs. Okay, at Web3 professional events like meetups, conferences, masterclasses like these, and etc. Okay, even today we have more than 200 plus jobs active on our platform. Okay, and you have a full opportunity to avail such opportunities like internships, full-time roles, remote roles, and even contract-based roles. Okay, with that, today Requiem also provides you with NFT-based certificates to keep or have a unique memory from today's event. With that, I'd like to remind you that if you are watching this particular episode from any other streaming platform like YouTube, Twitter, or LinkedIn, okay, I'd like you to hop onto the website or onto the Requiem website and connect your wallet get or to get the NFT certificate for this particular event. With that, today we have a person who's going to talk to us about how we can use Web3 to do good for the people. Okay, and that's where that's somewhere I feel is very important, because doing good for the society somewhere will help the society progress to places or checkpoints where it helps the society and the community as a whole to prosper. Okay, and this is where we have Sacha from the co-founder of the Smurfs Society and Open Warfare as today's speaker. Let's welcome Sacha on the screen.
Yeah. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Hi, can you hear me properly?
Yes, it's perfect. So
Right. How are you doing? How are you doing?
It's fine. I'm in Belgium right now, Central Europe.
Oh, wow, Belgium. I hope it's pretty good there. I heard there's a Ethereum conference happening there in Germany, right? And there are
Yes,
many
exactly.
more such meetups and conferences happening. So how is it going? Are you going there?
Yes, so I was in London for the Zebu Live conference. It was
Oh,
nice. We were
wow.
talking about finance. I met people from Binance, from MoonPay, from everywhere, going there to build the future. So it was really
Right.
interesting. And
Great.
yes, I'm doing a lot of conferences around around. I move a lot to evangelize our vision and to try to spread this NFT for good collection. So maybe I can introduce rapidly like how I get into Web3
Correct.
and what we are doing into this new world.
Definitely. So let's come to that directly. Okay. So Sacha, why don't you tell us, how you encountered what is Web3, what is blockchain, how you entered into this industry. Okay. How has
Yes,
your journey been? Okay. And
yes.
what amuses you the most in this industry?
So back in the days, it was, I think, in 2016. I was running my agency and I was hearing about blockchain, and I was, okay, what's going out of there? What's behind this technology? So I was really interested by those new disruptive technology, as we call them, and how to disrupt like new sectors such as the notaries, such as the real estate, and so on, really traditional sectors. And I decided to invest in several blockchain and protocols. I began with, of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then I dig into it a little bit, but not so much. I was not, building on the blockchain. And
Okay.
last year, during the DeFi summer, I really decided to enter in the space from an entrepreneurial perspective. And the idea was really to build a DeFi for all platform when we can ease
Okay.
the on-ramp, the understanding of the different protocols, the risks which are linked, and give it to everyone, even my grandmother. So it was really the idea, but rapidly we figured out that the regulation was kind of an issue. There were still a lot of risk with the stable coins, and it's
Correct.
when I decided to go on the other side, more on the entertainment side, with the gaming and this NFT space, where there is more, a creative process behind, a creation of a community behind, which is more linked with my background because I was in a growth agency before, and so it was more
Okay.
my skill putting, at my experience into Web3,
Correct.
which was more relevant than if I had a background in finance and banking.
Right, right. So see, so from what I understand, you have been into just creating more businesses, trying to understand customer problems, but solve it using Web3 specific because it's almost 6 years you have been in this industry. Correct.
Exactly.
Right. So, if I try to understand a simple thing, what amuses you about Web3? Like, what is the most fascinating thing which helps you understand? Is it the technology? Is it the idea? Is it the what should I say? The passion people have to build. What is it? What
Yes,
amuses you?
I feel that the philosophy is really interesting. We
Okay.
had the same concept and the same ideal of the internet back in the days. Every information will be available. Everyone will have power as a media, as a content creator, as someone who
Correct.
can like build something thanks to internet. But at the end, the reality is everyone can build, but only the biggest players owns and create and bring the value and capture the value. And so,
Correct.
it's really linked with the acquisition and the big monopolies that we see on the market right now, with the
Mm-hmm.
big tech players, mainly in US. And so the Web3 today is a little bit the same, concept that everyone can owns, can create, we talk a lot about like write, own, earn, and so on. And
Okay.
I think that this is the next promise. It was the promise of internet. Right now is the promise of Web3, and
Okay.
it's why people are so fascinated about it, but the technology is still a problem to have access to it. It's still like a world without regulation, without a passcode recovery, and some basic aspects that we don't have
Okay.
yet on all the projects. And so there is plenty of opportunities, but also risk, which are linked. But by entering in that and by putting more people and entrepreneurs building application that ease the access to the Web3, it will ease
Okay.
also the entrepreneurial spirits, the funding process, the value creation process. And I believe that as internet changed the way really we live, we meet people, we understand the world, we buy some products, we exchange some services, we collaborate around the globe. Web3
Correct.
will be the next level of it. We talk about NFTs, metaverse, DeFi, refi, and so on, but it will be linked with the way we take credit, the way we take we convert debt into project, we convert debt into equity, the way the smart contracts permit to enable new kind of collaboration,
Okay.
technology related a lot, because the technology is really intrinsically linked with the value that the people on chain create, and
Right.
with the rewards and the risk which are linked. It means that The blockchain, when we see the staking and so on, it's a reward because we put some money on the table that validates the transaction. And if the people are trying to hack it, you lose your money. It's a
Mhm.
punishment on one hand, but also a reward on the other hand. And I think
Okay.
that it's really the future of collaboration also, is that I'm the value.
Incentivization.
Exactly, it's
Mhm.
a value creation process that is directly linked with the action that we do on chain.
Correct, correct. So, see, with that, what I have understood with what you have said is somewhere you are more focused as a person, I'll like say, like as a founder, to add or create value towards the community more. That is
Exactly.
your focus. This is what I have understood. Okay.
Exactly, and uh, be able to create a community, to be part of the project, to create the value together, to work on the project, and being incentivized by the success of the project, but which each of the person in the loop is really creative in a sense, but also super virtuous. It's
Exactly.
something we never saw before. It was like stock option plan, but at the next level.
Right, exactly. So this is what I understand. Okay, somewhere you have a personality trait where you are more focused towards building for the customer or for the community. Correct. So how does, let's say I am a normal founder who wants to become someone who needs to create value for the community. Okay. So my first question is, where do you actually find what is like, or how do you actually analyze what are the pain points the customers are facing? Okay, and how to basically figure out the perfect like the tropical problems which they are going through. What is it? Let's go step by step.
Um, from my side, there is really two ways of building project and products. It's the one is about the problem, and the other is about the opportunity.
Okay.
I will talk first about the problem with open warfare. So it's a play to
Okay.
earn game, but as we saw in the past year, the play to earn games were not sustainable. It was a kind of Ponzi scheme that was created, and so for this particular project, we really thought about okay, how can we make this sustainable? How can we link the value creation of the platform and the token linked with the people playing inside the game and bring the value inside the game? And so what we figure out is a kind of easy principle. It's people playing will mint new NFTs inside the game that they will be able to trade, and those NFTs will have two potential utilities. The first is
Okay.
to use them inside the game to evolve and to pass to the next level. And
Okay.
the second one is to trade them to make some money with it because other people do not want to farm but want to use those NFTs to pass to the next level. And so
Okay.
it was a mix. It's a mix between the free-to-play model where you can buy to go faster, but you can also sell your NFTs to make some money and trade them
Right.
and involve with it. So for us, it's really a more sustainable tokenomics. So this is
Okay.
about the problem because the past tokenomics were not sustainable, and so at what one point, all not all of them, but most of them just fail and were down to the roots, and it's not yes, it's not what we expect from a token to just
Correct.
collapse. On the other side, on the opportunity side, I'm talking about the Smurf Society. So the Smurf Society is a community for good. And the
Okay.
whole idea behind is to say, okay, we had NFTs before to show that we are ape and we are part of a community. We are punk, so we create value with each other. We are part of a community that are the OGs of the crypto the
Mhm.
crypto communities and so on. But there it was okay, can we bring a brand or can we bring a community around really intrinsic values for the future and trying to put together some brains, some money, and some projects to help the world being better. So it's more opportunity
Okay.
driven. So there is of course a big problem behind is we want to solve the world, we want to bring back the blue planet, as we say, because it's the Smurfs. But
Right. Right.
on the other side, there is also this aspect of okay, how can we show that we take care of the world? How can we show that we are doing something? And one of the points is okay, I will give some money to this NFT, and with this NFT, I will be able to vote in a DAO to support
Mhm.
specific projects that are for good. And so it could be like cleaning the beach, cleaning the oceans, bringing water
Mhm.
in emerging markets, bringing some electricity, but powered by solar panels, wind turbines, and so on. And
Okay.
so with this NFT, you have the opportunity, you have the chance to be part of of this
Of the
community,
team.
of the change of tomorrow, to build a
Okay.
better future. And so for
Cool.
me, it's a little bit how to project yourself in in a specific project or in a value creation process, to see on one point like the problem. The games are not sustainable and the play to earn is not well done for the moment. We will change
Okay.
that. We will change the economics behind. And on the other side is how can we find an opportunity? How do we bring a community together around same values? And so we take a brand like the Smurfs are all great, hardworking people who want the best for the other, who accept mistakes and so on. So we can have made mistake at first, but when we change
Okay.
the behavior, we own the Smurfs, we change the world.
Okay. So with that, what I understand is like the opportunity side is like basically you have a chance to do good, correct?
Yes, on the NFT for good
On the
side,
problem side, it's like, see, there is a problem. We know all that there is a problem, and we have to solve it.
exactly,
Exactly. So on these two foundations, the community can be started. Okay,
exactly.
like this is the first checkpoint that a person should look for. Okay, now the second checkpoint comes: how do you gather a community of people, or how do you bring those people to these communities? Like basically, how do you build the community? Taking
Yes.
in point only the Smurf society.
Okay. So for the Smurf Society, it's a little bit specific because the Smurfs are known by 95% of the population worldwide. It's the
Okay.
one of the biggest brand recognition in the world. But
Okay.
all those people do not have NFTs, and all those people do not are OGs and cannot afford, the NFTs in itself or cannot onboard. So what we did,
Right.
we are doing partnerships with already existing communities that are in
Okay.
the space, that are in the NFT space, with
Mhm.
most of them OGs, and we are opening the door to our community only to specific communities at first. And so
Okay.
you can enter inside the Smurf Society because of you have one of the blue chip collection NFT.
Okay.
And so we onboard them step by step, and they enter, and they can have access to some perks, to some information, to some quests, to some riddle games, and so on. And thanks to this open door,
Okay.
they come in, they understand. For those who do not know the Web3, they understand the Web3, they are buying like their first NFTs, they are deep diving into it. For the people who are already into Web3, they can answer to most of the question, of course, but also have the ability to just switch in on Polygon, mainnet, and then use their Matic to buy some elements to go forward and have access to their NFTs. And as you were saying at the beginning, when we were preparing the podcast, that we are mainly focused on Ethereum and EVM chains, and this is really the idea. The main NFT will be available on Ethereum,
If correct.
but all the game behind and all the mechanism will be done on Polygon because
Oh.
of the gas fee on Ethereum is just not affordable for everyone.
No, no, I totally understand that. Like somewhere I feel Polygon is also very sustainable. Okay, and is a long-term thing. Okay,
Exactly.
so definitely, that's a very good choice. Okay, somewhere I respect that. But coming back to the Smurf Society's ideology.
Yeah,
Okay, so somewhere I've understood that one thing is very common in all Web3 companies. Everyone wants to build together. That's one thing.
it's
Okay,
true.
there's nothing like this is my monopoly, this is your monopoly. This is one thing we want to build together. Okay, and somewhere this is also which I have like this is almost our 13th or 14th masterclass. Okay, and somewhere I have understood that all founders or whoever has come, they want to partner more and build more.
True.
Correct. Correct. So somewhere what do you think is there a problem that you think you generally people face while partnering or while building that community? Okay, if there are problems that you might have faced or you think is generic to all, Are there any solutions that you have found out which has helped you grow the Smurf society? Okay, let's go with that.
Yes. So I think in every project, building a team is tough.
Okay,
It's a big work, and this project is really huge. It's worldwide. We are trying to really build one of the biggest community for good as fast as possible.
right.
Um, and one of the key point was really to bring people with expertise, with a lot of knowledge, and the ability to empower the community rapidly. And
Okay.
so we are really split around the globe. We have like the creative director, which was the creative director of Daft Punk based in Los Angeles. The
Wow.
CTO was in DeFi in a big financial institution in San Francisco. The chief marketing also in San Francisco, who has sold this company last year, one of the big video agency in the US. Several people in France who are a little bit more the strategic and the business development side. We are in Brussels with one of the co-founder also, and all the marketing and communication team, which I'm working with every day to build up this. And one of the challenge was really to organize everything with every stakeholders all around the globe, without seeing each of us, and working really rapidly. So without finding exactly like the kind of tool that we will work on, the process of collaboration, the process of decision, which is also decentralized. So how you put everybody aligned. And so what we did for that, we did a big whole, how do you call that? All hand week with everybody in Brussels to just figure out all the big points and the big question we had, and trying really to uh, split the work, then
Okay.
putting responsibilities, then putting a lot of rhythm with a weekly handle on the business development, a weekly handle on the executive committee side, and structure as much as possible with the right tools, so Slack, Monday, and so on, Notion, to document as much as possible. And
Okay.
thanks to that, it was the problem of communicating and sharing the information between all those 25 people working together, but from day one, because it was really like in a matter of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we get the contract, we launched the project, we were all working together, but without
Wow.
knowing each other. So it was a kind of tough collaboration process. And
Okay.
this was hard also because Web3 is going fast.
Very
We,
fast. Correct.
we we want to launch rapidly. We want to put something on the market rapidly. We want to prove the value rapidly. And so this was one of the key issue we had, and it's linked because of the velocity of the Web3, the
Okay.
decentralization of the power. So who has to decide, the design? So we put a responsible, everybody votes, and everybody say, okay, he will be the lead designer, and he will approve the design. He will lead the business development. He will approve the business development. So even if with the decentralization, you have to centralize at one point, like the decision making process, and the pace and the velocity, for to increase the velocity and to increase the way you can proceed and go forward. And so maybe sometimes we try to be too collaborative and too decentralized in a way to decide, but sometimes it's better to be decentralized in a way that how we will decide, and then to centralize the power to just go faster.
No, no, that is, we at Recurum also somewhere have the similar model where we have, the team spread across various continents as well. Correct. So somewhere I also agree to like the mindset, or what I'd say, the ecosystem that you're going through. Okay, because we are somewhere also around the same ecosystem. Our founders are currently in USA. Some part of the team is currently in India. Somewhere I understand totally that. Okay. But with that comes, somewhere I feel like if you have the correct team, if you have the correct people to work with, the thing strategically goes ahead and progresses.
Exactly, and it's true. When we see a problem, we figure out, we clarify, we document, and we are going forward. And it's what we saw also with the yes, because it's a senior team. People
Correct.
were figuring it out, and then sharing the problem with the the whole comex and saying, okay, how we will structure that to make it a process and to being able to go faster the
Correct.
next time, and it's going well. It was just at the beginning when you put all the things together, for the first week, it's a kind of tough because you have a lot of people to meet, a lot of people to understand, some different
Correct.
management style with the different continent and so on. But at the end, because everyone is really on board and incentivized by the success of the project, you know that everyone is really working hard to make it better and to create value together. And it's the key objective is just to launch this collection and make it like as sustainable as possible, but also as successful as possible.
Definitely, definitely. I totally have full agreement with all what you have said, and I have also met many teams which actually function in the same way, and I feel that this is a similar ideology or a mindset which almost a good Web3 or company team might have or should have. Okay.
Yeah.
With that, coming to focusing on the Smurf society. Okay, I'd like to know more like what kind of good are we talking about? Okay, like are we doing good for the nature? Is it related to just offering help or support to other humans, or is it related to professional work? Is it related to mental health? What all fields are we covering as of now, and what are we focusing towards ahead?
So at the beginning, the idea was really to support our own projects from our side and doing like great things together with the team. But at one point, we say, okay, but what's the aim of the community and what's the aim of having a Smurf if you cannot decide and if you cannot be part of the decision? And so
Okay.
we decided to change a little bit the mindset and change a little bit the way we will do things. We are the owner of the vision, and what what we will do is select only partners who are like reliable and sustainable and want to be great and good for the planet. But the key decision at the end of what we will do exactly will become to the community. And so everyone owning a Smurf can decide like which kind of project they want to
They have to
support.
work on.
But also people who are part of the team or artists we are working with will have the opportunity to say, okay, I have like two associations, two NGOs, two new projects
Mhm.
that we can try to help. And thanks to their participation, then their explanation and exploration about this space and, okay, what kind of good can we do? They will
Mhm.
open the mind to the people from the community, sharing their point of view about it and how to split the finance about those different projects. So
Okay.
to give you an example, at the beginning we were, yes, okay, we will buy a boat, and like this boat will go in the sea, and it's an electric boat, and he will take all the plastic from the sea. So it was really nice. We were talking about people about that and so on, but at the end we told ourselves, okay, it's a really good idea, but we want the community to decide. We will propose the project, but the community will vote through the DAO and say how the fund will be allocated to this particular project or another.
Okay.
Another stuff that we are doing, it's more like action, small action, big impact in a sense. And
Okay.
so we are doing, for instance, with events and so on, some reusing the plastic in itself to build, a giant Smurf
Okay.
with all the plastic from the event, and just to show to people that it's possible to create art pieces from the plastic that we use every day. And so these
Correct.
are actions that we are organizing because we know that we will talk about, we know that it will spread the word, we know that people will say, oh, wow, they use it, and so they are strong with it, and they believe in it, and they are building on this basis, strongly believers. But the big part of it will not be from those actions, like one-time action on events. It will be more like long-time support to in-depth action and to in-depth impactful projects.
So it's like there is a understanding where we have, let's take 5 or 10 projects. We see how to manage people as well as community, and then define which project can create better impacts and more impacts. And similarly, we distribute the people among them, and the work is being done. And for that, the people get the NFTs.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
it's the two ways. So there is one way of financing and this another way of receiving the NFT because you are part of it, this project and this community.
Okay, so it's more related to volunteering as well,
Yes,
correct?
kind of.
Volunteering, kind of, correct. So it's basically like you're creating a bigger NGO for many small NGOs, or not only NGO, I'll say any sort of goodwill work. Okay, let it be cleaning the planet, or like doing good for the society. Okay,
Yes, doing a
anything.
research about like how to make the work better, how to help on climate change, to renewable and so on. So it could be like different aspects, and we reward them. And I think that the volunteering is a kind of a good way to explain it, but is a real reward behind. And
Exactly. It's always about incentivization, okay, giving
exactly,
value in return. But I feel that volunteering should also have incentivization.
it's true.
Correct.
It's true.
Right. So I am totally in agreement with what the ideology of the Smurf Society. And Sasha, I definitely agree. I have so many ideas to share with you, okay, and discuss with you to do good for the planet. And I'd really want to take this ahead after probably this masterclass sometime.
With
Okay.
pleasure, really.
With pleasure, definitely. But yes, so with that, what do you think? How is the community currently progressing? Okay, in the Smurf Society, do you think is it possible we can add, like, make this global and add many more people from various parts of the globe? As let's take country ambassadors or something like that to generate more goodwill through Web3. Okay, but like, what do you think is the future goal for this, or how are you projecting it?
And we don't know exactly how we will do it, but we want to bring inclusivity in this community. And
Okay,
so people who are like part of the community, volunteering or being active or spreading the world, will be
okay,
incentivized.
okay,
And we don't know yet exactly how we will bring that worldwide in emerging markets and so on, but we know that a big part of the change will come from those countries,
okay.
and that
So,
it
are
has
you
to be.
currently any country specific? Are you
For
like
the
a
moment,
region?
it's really global, but we know that the NFT guys are mainly in several cities and
Right.
in several countries
Some
because of
hotspots.
exactly.
Okay, agreed. Okay,
So we are targeting first like those cities, those countries, but we
okay,
know that we will have to bring all those communities from everywhere in the globe to help them enter into Web3
right.
and to help them being incentivized and being active in this community. And so we will find not hack, but find we say growth hack, but it's not a growth hack. It's a way to onboard people, making them involved in the project and being rewarded by the project. And so it's a way to just onboard people. So, for instance, if you begin to do some referrals for the project and you are really active on the Discord and so on, we will notice it and we will give some perks and some NFTs, some
Wow.
ingredients. So for yes, this is an example I can give you. So if you want with this project, you can participate to the games that we are organizing on Discord, on Twitter, answer to the different questions, participate to the quest, and so on. You will receive ingredients. But if you don't want to use these ingredients yourself directly, you can sell them and trade them to other people, and other people will try to will buy them to be able
Correct.
to have their mint. And so it's a kind also of play to earn, and it could be inclusive because if you pass the time in it and if you pass the time in the project, you will receive some perks and you will receive some incentive by being active in the community. And so it's community empowerment reward program in a sense where
Okay.
when you are active, you receive perks.
Okay, understood. So I totally understand, how this currently is working, and I am totally very much, wanting to work with you soon. Okay, definitely. Okay, but adding to that, I'd like to understand. So, how does the community run? Is it like your team is specific, and then there is a community, or your team is the community? How is it like? How do you build your team there?
We will say that there is a core team
Right.
which design the systems, the
Mhm.
IT, the security part, and so on. And then there is the community with
Okay.
all the
Stakeholders.
ambassadors and what we call the Smurfs friend.
Okay.
And the Smurfs friend are the active community builder and active community member who will
Okay.
engage with us, who will engage with their own communities, and who will help us to achieve our vision,
Right.
and they will be rewarded, but not as the core team, but as the Smurfs friend. And they will receive
Agree.
some perks, and they will have, when they have ideas, they can propose their ideas, they can implement their ideas if they have the skills to do it, and it will be paid and it will be done for. So every
Correct.
good behavior, every idea is welcome. It's just that we have to figure out the way to implement it and to make it scalable.
Correct. Okay. So understanding this, how do you basically build your team, or what is the what are the skill sets or things that you look for while building a team?
So basically, how did we structure the company? Um, it's really, we have on one side the community building, which is really related with marketing, communication, the storytelling that we are telling. But on
Okay.
the other side, also all the gaming aspects and all the gaming mechanism that we put in place with the referral programs, with the ingredients that we spread, with the question that we ask on the Discord and so on. So the activation, which is really tech related. And then we have all the collaborations, which is also community related, but the collaboration with other communities to spread the word and to engage with already existing communities. So
Okay.
we see that, and also all the production teams, so the production of the NFTs and the production of the website and the text reports. So to recap, we have the community with the business development collaboration, marketing and communication, community management and engagement.
Okay.
Then the tech team, which is all the gamification aspect, the smart contract, the token, the different.
Blockchain and everything, tech infrastructure.
Exactly. And the last part is really the production of the NFTs, so the artwork. And this
Right.
is about defining the rarities, defining the art direction. So what will be the render target, what the NFT will look like. Does it work on every generated art? We will do specific collection with artists. They will design with the artist to be able to do like some 3D stuff and so on. And they will be also in charge of creating some visuals and items that we can share on the website, on the social media, and so on.
Okay, okay. So somewhere it's a distributed work. Everyone has their own work to do, and accordingly, basically the procedure has been set that this is how it will be progressing. Okay, but
Yep.
like how often do you build like basically in the core team, not the community? How often do you hire, or what like basically do you look for people who can help you grow more, or what kind of people do you look for? So basically, around your hiring journey, how is it? Your experience?
Yeah. So on the core team, the biggest topics are all the time like the community aspects, so moderation, community management, answering the comments, and so on. Then there is all the collaborations, so how to do partnership with other collection and so on.
Okay,
So these are the two aspects I'm more in charge in a sense, and so I'm focusing on. Then there is the tech related aspects, but we are
okay,
already, it was the first focus to be structured enough and to have all the infrastructure that we need and all the tech related aspects. And the last part was really on is really focused on the what we call the production and the VFX and all the graphism, the 3D of the Smurfs that we want to put in terms of artwork. And there we are still hiring a little bit to complete the team.
okay, okay. Understood. Okay, so let's keeping that. Definitely, when you're running this sort of an agent, like I'll say this sort of a community, this sort of an organization, okay, managing funds, or getting in more investors, okay, and helping other, how I'll say, community members to get their projects funded, is basically you're the medium for that, correct?
Yes,
So
kind of.
how do we get that done?
So it's specific because as we are all ex-founders and so on, we self-funded the project, so we didn't look for funding. You know,
Okay,
we were all doing it by ourselves. But and because also the team is all the co-founders and the people working on the project are really like incentivized on the results. Nobody get paid, um, but we get incentives on the success of the project, as I was saying before.
correct, correct,
Um, on the other side, we can accept funds only for kind of credibility, having more license, being like with the biggest exchange and so on. But because of the Smurfs are so well known, we don't even need it. People want to be associated with us, so it's really
correct,
specific because the project is so yes, it's a so big vision, and NFT for good vision. People want to be associated with them and with us, and want to be part of it from one way or another. It could be artists, it could be like platforms, it could be all the collections and so on. Everybody is on board, and this is really cool to work on a project. But that being said, usually when we launch an NFT project or a play to earn project or like a DeFi project or whatever, you regroup a core team, and the core team is working to have a kind of prototype or a clear idea of exactly what we will build. And based on that, you will speak with people in the space, with investors, and somehow at one point somebody will say, okay, I would like to be part of it. Financially, I cannot put like a lot of resources, but I give you some money, I will receive some token and some equity on the IP or something like that. And so the right now what's the most common is to say, okay, there is a tech company which own the IP, so which own the code, the platform, and so on. And then there is like a token, and so you have to be clear about the tokenomics, the distribution, and so on. And you say if you enter right now, you will take part of the token on one side, and part of the equity on the tech company, and of the token on the other side, when we will release the token. Even if we will not release the token right now, it's a promise of giving the token as a reward tomorrow.
okay,
And
okay,
what's important for maybe the community, if there is some founder or so, is that the token has to be a reward. Like this, it's not related as a security. Because if you pay for the
correct,
token, it becomes a security. And so
right,
it's a mess in terms of regulation.
okay, okay. So before we move into the questions that we have, I just have one thing to ask. Like, let's say we're working for the goodwill of, let's say, the society, right? Have you thought of working with different governments or government bodies?
Um, so myself, I'm just in several lobbying groups here in Belgium who are related with the regulation and so on, but I'm not particularly involved in that. There are some members of the community which are really people who are pushing for a better use of the regulation for a safer Web3, and and so they are doing some kind of lobbying, at the government on the European level for the MiCA and to improve the regulation on the MiCA. Personally, I'm more like advising some companies which are in the legal Web3 tech, to help make the Web3 safer for the end
Okay,
user and for companies. Um, and sometimes I'm giving some conference to people into the this. It's more broader about like regulation and not even regulation, digitization. But what I'm telling to government is trying to use this technology to make some good impact, and it means like, for instance, if you are doing great on the company level, and if you are giving some perks to NGOs, giving some technologies, helping them step up, you can imagine to reduce the tax for instance. So you incentivize through the blockchain some positive aspects. I'm giving like my technology to one NGO that could use it. I give it for free, but on the other side, I reduce my tax rate. And
Okay.
you can do that on a government level also. You say, okay, I'm giving my technology to the government. I'm
Hmm.
developing some technologies for the government. They have like really high standard, and I can deliver this high standard for the government. But on the other side, I'm reducing my tax rate. And these are kind of incentives that I like because there is a skin in the game. You know, I'm reading the last book of Nicholas Taleb, and the last book, from the book before was, you know, skin in the game. And
Okay.
usually there is also all the time a confrontation between the government and the companies, or the companies and the NGOs. But if all
Hmm.
those people working together, trying to help, you know, develop their IT infrastructure, the way that they work, the decentralization and the shared ownership around their community, with their client, with their partner, with all the suppliers of the government, there is a kind of equilibrium that you can incentivize to the thanks to the blockchain, because
Hmm.
the transfer of value can be monetized in a way or another, thanks to tax exemption on one side, or just giving money, but more value based in a sense. And so the value that you bring to the states will directly retribute the supplier for the states.
Okay. Okay. Understood. So this is like similar to what we discussed on the community model in the beginning, but only having a more professional, or what I'll say, a legal based approach. Correct.
Exactly, a framework to incentivize like good behavior regarding the government and
Right.
NGOs and other companies.
Right. Okay. So this sounds very awesome. Let's just move ahead to the question segment. We have a few questions to ask you. So let's have the first question on the screen. What role can Web3 play in NGOs?
So I think that Web3 can really help NGOs to be funded, to be more transparent, the way the fund will be used. So, you know, the donation can really be linked with what the fund has been used inside the company. So you can really follow the path of the token and so on. And you can also have access to, you know, the content related to the donation itself. So for instance, if you sign the transaction with your wallet, and you say, okay, I'm giving $100, then you have access to, okay, where the funds were correlated. Did I pay the management, or did I pay like the real guy needing this money, you know, during the flood? And at the end, if there is like reconstruction or something, you can know, okay, but what kind of reconstruction did I pay for? And the content related to the donation can really be part of the contract and sent back to the donator. And so it's all about transparency, efficiency, and traceability. And
Okay.
thanks to this process, people, when they will receive the photo of, you know, their donation, they will say, wow, it's super cool what I funded, so I will do it again. And I can, you know, just push on the button and double down or something like that, because I saw that this had an impact. And the guy in front can just, you know, share a video of him saying, guys, I didn't have my house, but right now you just rebuild my house, thanks again. We just have to bring electricity, and then I'm done. It gives, you know, the power in the donator hand, and also a connection with the end user and the, you know, the person benefiting from the donation itself.
Okay. Okay. I understand. So it's basically creating a more efficient framework for the NGOs to function well. Correct. To
Exactly.
get
And
funded, to do volunteer work, everything.
exactly, and you can put some rules in place, such as, okay, if there is less than 10% which is donated to the staff of the NGO,
Exactly.
I will give 15 more percent, you know, and it's written in
Right.
the smart contract. And if it's approved, you know, directly there is more which is
Much.
donated.
Yes.
And so it's auto optimizable system, and I really like that.
Okay. Okay. Works. That's very well answered. Sasha. Let's move ahead to the next question again. What is your favorite project doing good using Web3?
it's
Okay, let's
different.
let's keep it this way. What would you prefer? Like, would you want to like? I somewhere I feel it's like we have to do good for everything. Okay, that is definitely there. But what is your sweet spot?
Yes, my sweet spot is really the two projects I'm working on. There is a model which is linked with NFT for good and Web3 for good, but it's not the only reason why. There are also something else, and it makes, I think, the project more sustainable and more impactful, because the model is working, but taking into account that it's doing good also. So, for instance, with the Smurfs, we are bringing the Smurfs into the metaverse. We are doing this, some experiences with them and so on. We are doing some riddle games, then some treasure hunting and so on. And at the end, people are rewarding the planet, but they are also having fun, and they are also spending money to have experiences. And it's not just like I'm giving money to the planet. I'm giving money. I'm part of the community. I'm doing great
Well,
things, but also I'm having experiences. And I really like this concept when it's a little bit like Patagonia. Patagonia, I
correct.
have one of the book over there, like from
Oh, it's a
Let My
yeah,
People
yeah, yeah.
Do
It's good.
Something. But the idea is really um, to give back to the planet 1% of the revenues. And just recently, he said, like, I'm giving all my shares to the world, to sustainable projects.
Oh
And
yes, there's this one person who did that, right? $3 billion, right?
exactly. And so
Yes.
it's so it's his mindset. He said, I will do it for good. And I have a daughter of 2 years.
Are they
um,
working with you?
they are not working with me, but I'm so fun because they
Oh
say
no,
we.
that's definitely it's very admiring.
Yeah, exactly. I had a little shirt of my
Oh,
childhood, like from 20 years, and they say it's sustainable, it's for the long term, and I put it on my daughter like 1 year ago, so it's there for 20 years and it's just intact, and
oh
I'm
wow.
really a fan of the product. It's a promise they have, and they follow it.
Definitely, definitely. I'm recommending you. You should try getting in touch with that founder and get him on board on Small Society.
It's true.
Definitely.
You are totally right. I will write it down.
Definitely, because I actually remember there is this one person who sold off his company for three, like the whole shares to just do good for the planet. I'm forgetting the name of the person, but he just came up like 15, 20 days ago.
Nice, but he did it just recently. Yvon Chouinard, he just did it like
Exactly.
so it's nice. It's so nice.
Definitely, definitely. If I get a chance, if I get him in touch, I'll directly send him to you.
Thanks,
Okay.
thanks.
Okay. Done. Okay. Let's go ahead with the next question then. Come on. Uh, what are the thoughts on refi? Okay, so to give context, I am not aware of what is refi. Okay, so let's just go with first what is refi, and then maybe you can discuss on your thoughts as well.
So first of all, I'm not an expert neither. I followed
Okay.
a little bit from perspective because I'm staying more into community building and so on. But what I understand from it is really about doing great with the financial system and doing a financial system sustainable and reliable with all the parts, like being aware of the impact it can have on society. So it's how I understand it. And it's generative, but it's also, for me, it's redefining the finance thanks to decentralization, or a part of centralization and decentralization,
Okay.
because you have to work with institutions, you have to work with trusted parties, and giving, I don't know, power to some philosopher, for instance, to being
Okay.
into the loop and say, okay, this is good, this is not good. Today, it's important. It's ethical, it's not ethical, it's important. Let the community being involved, in saying like, okay, there is so much benefits in this company. What can we do with that? Do we finance that? Do we finance that? And vote on a more like, yes, decentralized way. It's important. For me, it's also linked with the liquid democracy. I don't know
Okay.
if you know the concept, but it's to give the vote to someone who is better than us to decide on this subject. And so saying, okay, I have the power in this company to do that, but I prefer to give my vote to someone else who is like better skilled to take this decision. And it's also a kind of humility from tech people, financial people, saying, okay, sometimes we have so much power in this world
Hmm.
with finance, but we are in our ivory tower, and we will decide to decentralize that a little bit, put some other people
Okay.
in the loop. Like this, we will do like really like smart investment, impactful investment, and they will not just make money, but they will also make good.
Good. Correct. Correct. So basically, trying to reach out to people who might have better knowledge in executing things which we are wanting to execute. Correct.
Exactly.
Okay, okay. That that is a very nice thought. Basically, I'll write this down. Liquid democracy thing, because this is something I think this is new to me today. So thanks for that, Sasha. Okay, but let's go with the last question for today. Okay, and then we'll wrap up the session with good ways to go. How to incentivize communities using NFT? Okay.
So I talked a little bit about that at the beginning, but for instance, if we have like Nobel Prize of people having like a big impact on the world, on the sustainability and so on, what we can do is really give them, an NFT saying thanks for what you did, and we incentivize you because you spread the world in the right direction. We can do
Okay.
that in several ecosystem, and we can do that also for just interaction with the community, some kind of giveaways, some kind of incentives. And for instance, if you are going on the website of nft.smurf.com right now, you can enter and connect your MetaMask, and you will probably have the chance to receive something if you are connected to it. Usually, you need a code, but maybe you can also receive some perks because you are no part of the community.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Um, I have to go right now because I have another call. But I'm
Okay.
really thankful for the time that we spent together, and I'm
Right.
sure that
Very
we will
much.
again exchange in the future.
Definitely, but before you go, I guess you have 2 minutes. Okay. So Sasha, I'll just like to thank you for coming today. I had a really good time talking to you, understanding your future goal, your wants, how you want to do good, and I have sent you a request on LinkedIn. I guess that's the best place to reach out to you, or what is the best place?
Exactly, it's perfect. LinkedIn,
Okay,
Twitter, Sacha
works.
WB.
Done. So definitely, I'm gonna contact you real soon within this week, and I'm hoping to get on a call with you to work and analyze. Do good better. Basically, do good. We have to definitely do good. So I'm definitely gonna connect with you soon. Okay, and
Perfect.
done. Right. So thank you so much, Sasha, for coming today. Okay. I totally support the society, and I acknowledge the effort that the Smurf Society is taking to do good throughout the world. Okay. Thank you so much, Sasha.
Thank you to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. So I hope I'm sure we all had a fun and enlightening such experience today. And today was a really fun part where I actually met someone who aligns with the thought process of what I would want to do, maybe some years down the line, or maybe even start doing right now as well. And definitely we have learned a lot with from Sasha on terms of basically experience, how to build a team, community, how to handle everything together, how to make people do good. Okay, so definitely here's a huge shout out to him as well as the Smurf Society team. Okay. So definitely we'd like to extend our gratitude towards them as our sponsors and partners for today's event. To remind you guys again, we have a good amount of opportunities available on our platform. So if you are someone who's looking for any such opportunities, you can just log on to the Requiem account. Okay, log into your Requiem account, connect your wallet. Okay, avail these opportunities, and with that, get a chance to take back a unique memory from today's event by getting an NFT for this particular event. I hope you had a good time, and I wish to host you guys again. Uh, Please reach out to us for any kind of help or support you might need. Okay, in relation to hosting more speakers, okay, or if you would want us to bring in different kinds of people to speak here with various genres, so you can reach out to us on any other platforms. This is Lakshmanjal signing off. Thank you.